Hello, this is Michael, and thanks for joining me for this walkthrough. I'm going to go over a walkthrough of LogMeOnce password management, and basically stops the hassle of remembering all your passwords. So, in order to install a LogMeOnce password manager, you go to logmeonce.com and then select the URL here. It gives you, of course, I was a little quick. It gives you a couple of options for team, business edition, personal. I'm going to click on personal and family. It brings me to this page and I'm going to log in. So I am on a Chrome browser right now and I am assuming I am the parent. My name is Joe. Okay, I'm Joe and I'm going to put my email address here. I am the family parent. I'm going to put my email address here. Click on next. The first thing it's going to ask me is for my name. I'm going to say Joe. I'm going to put my password. It asks me for a combination of password that, character that should be matching. When it finds a match, it basically says it found a match. I click on continue. Now on the next page, it asks me to select a security answer. The security question answer is really selected, based on in case you forgot your password, you would be able to reset it. And but it's important that you should select something that you remember. So what I'm going to do here, you have a choice of selecting any password you want, or you can type your own question as well. So in this case, I'm going to write my own question. The question that I write, it should really make sense to me, not to others. I could say, where is my son? It doesn't have to mean anything as long as I know what the answer is. So this is just really something to help me. And the answer should be something that I know. I can, for example, write here my son's, phone number. So that could be the answer. So that's the only way I can come in and log into the system. And since I've logged in multiple times, that's why this captcha is coming. Otherwise, generally it wouldn't show up. So I click on sign up. So as soon as it's signed up, I will get a list of options, and one of them is I can select a free edition, free zero charge. I can go with professional edition, ultimate edition with a 7-day free trial, or I can go with a family edition. In this video, I'm going over a family edition installation. I click on family edition. I say yes, I want to do a 7-day trial. And right in the bat, it's just going to give me a tutorial on a walkthrough of different parts of this software. So it shows me, the plus, home icon, and what they are. I click on next. It takes me to the next screen. The smart menu is where you select, you have all your features. I click on it. It asks me to click on it, and gives me a highlight where password manager is, where secure drive or storage cloud encryption is, or where's the settings. I click on next, and it basically brings me to this page. And on the walkthrough, it shows me the walkthrough, and on the walkthrough, it asked me to install the Chrome extension. I'm on a Chrome right now. So I install Chrome, click on download, add to Chrome, install it, and done. Now it also asks me to install LogMeOnce tool. Since I had already installed it, it doesn't ask me to do it again. Next, what I will do, I click on import password to import my password. It checks, my browser to find if there is any password I have saved. Since it is a new installation, there was nothing saved, so it didn't find any passwords there. But right here, I can also install it from any browser I want, or from generic CSV or other applications that we support. You could, download and install it from those applications. If you want to import from other applications, you need to export it, and that application, let's say LastPass, you need to export it in LastPass into CSV, and then bring here and import, select LastPass, and then import it. So it gives you a couple of options to import from there. Now, in this example, I'm going to go through adding passwords myself. I click on home, so you'll see the first time I go to the home screen, it shows me I have an identity risk score on the right panel. It shows me what it is, and then it gives me really an overview of that panel, and it shows me my home screen with multiple features that I can, use and apply. I go to Password Manager, which is again the screen I add my password. I click on plus and add an app. So first I'll try to add the Gmail. As you type, it will, select and checks the catalog of about 40, 500, 800 different apps. So when you select it, it will automatically autofill the login URLs. I put Joe's email, and here I put the password. Click on Add App. It just adds the password for me, and I'm going to click close this and let me refresh it for a second. And when I refresh, and now Gmail is added. Let's add another app. This time I'm going to click on Add App. I'll go with Facebook. So I select Facebook. Joe puts the Facebook password. And I can also write a note. I can use the note to say something like my forgot password is, or security answer for Facebook is. I can just type whatever, the security answer is and save it. So I have a note as well. Now let's add another app. This time let's add eBay. I see it in the list. I add eBay. Come here, add the user ID password, and I'm going to add let's this time select a weak password. I add a password that's also saved. Now, if I move my mouse to the black area, I see some default folders. If I want to add new folders, I can, in this area, I can right mouse button, I can click on add group. That's one way I can add. Or I can come here and say add group in the plus icon. So maybe I will add, travel. So that could be my other group that I added. I have two travel. Good. So I come here, edit it, and maybe I change it to travel. Oh, maybe I can put airports. Any airport related password that I have, I can, put it right there. So this basically showed you how to add, save. If I click any of those groups, it shows me passwords that are in that group. I don't have any password there. So if I go to my cloud, I'll see all the passwords, or it shows me all the passwords. So let's add another app since we talked about airport. Let's say we can add United Airlines. So I can add the name, and now I can put my password for United Airlines. So what I can do also, I can move it from here, drag it, and dump it into this group. So now it has gone to the airport. When I come to my cloud, I see everything that I have, all these different apps. But if I go to airport, I will see only the apps that are related to our airport. I can also add notes, and when I add notes, I can define a category, color. Let's say I would say this is the appliance password. I call this my firewall password. It is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So I click on add note. The note is added. As you see, I can add any data I want from any screen. I don't have to be on the notice screen. So I can add it from any screen. Let me add one more note. This time I will put bank account. I will change the color and I would say BOA, and the bank account is 1234567. Now I have an option to show the notes in dashboard. I'm going to check it here, but when I go to notes, I'll explain what that is. So notes is also added. I can go to add also a credit card in the same manner. Now, if I go back to my cloud, it shows that you can have different version of the views. You can have medium icon view, or you could have details view. When you are in details view, it shows the app and it shows the data that are encrypted, and it shows the strength of the password for that data that's encrypted. And similarly, I can right mouse button, click on edit. I can share it. I can copy username and password if that's what I want. Now, the one thing I can do is I can, let's say, edit, click on edit. On the right panel, it shows me information about the app. I showed you one way to move the app into by dragging it to move it into a different folder, but you can in fact do it from here as well. Let's say I say eBay is a family app. I can move it to family. Now, as soon as I save it, that will be moved to family app. So that is one way I can do it. And I can also have specific files that are related to eBay and save it right here. So I can, drag files and save it here. I can, this shows the groups that this app could belong to. And also I can really share it with different family members as well. And in a second, I'll go and explain family members. So maybe that will help you understand how that can be used as well. So let's do this. Click on Open General and then click on Save Changes. Now that is changed, and now eBay is in Family app. So this is how you can add, different password within the system and use it. Okay. Now let's go to Smart Menu. I'm going to go to Secure Notes because I added a couple of notes and I wanted to show you. As you see for this note, you don't see right away when you come, you don't see the data. But for this note, you can see the data. If I click on it, you'll see I have checked the show note in dashboard. That's why you can see it. And if I remove the check and save it, then that node will not be seen either. So the data is not seen. But if I click on it, I can see it. Now I can add additional notes. On top of that, I can add files specifically to this note. This could be any documents that needed. I can add it to the note. So this is one view you can look at it, and I can also have a different view, look at the same data. You can pick and choose what type of data you are interested. You can add notes also from this screen. Okay, let's go and add a family member. In order to add family members, you want to go to Smart Menu. Under General, you come to Family. Under Family, you want to select Add a Family Member. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add my son Andy. So I'm going to say that is Andy's email, and Andy, and I'm going to say son just to make sure it's all clear, and I click on add Andy. I'm going to pause a second. Maybe I should add a profile image. Oh, let me do this. So before right now what I did, I added Andy and click on Save Changes. Now Andy is added to the account. So in order to, if I move my mouse here, you will see, uh, my session information, how long I've been on, what's my IP address, what's the last time to log out. It's going to log me out. It shows my version and my default browser, which is used for language. If I select it, I can select other supported languages as well. Now, if I want to change anything under my profile, like picture, I click on profile. It brings me here. I can bring my picture or other data from Facebook, or I can just add it from here as well. So let's do this. I'm going to pause it for a second and bring an image, and then we go from there. Okay, so I brought some images. Let's do this. I'm click on choose the file. I love my dog, so I'm going to use that image. So it shows it here, and this is it. So that is my image. I click on Save Changes, and everything is saved. And now I go to the home screen, because the first time I'm coming to this screen, it shows me, my other information that I can use. Now my profile picture is also shown here. Okay. Now, as you remember, I sent the invite to my son Andy. What I have done is on that was on the Chrome. Joe was setting it up, but I have set up Andy to be on Firefox browser. So what I did, and this is my email. So as soon as I send the invited Andy, Andy received the invitation to LogMeOnce family account. So this is Andy. It gets an email. It shows Andy's email. It shows the login page, and it shows Joe has invited him to come. So Andy can click on join family member, and I'm in a different browser. Now, this is the flow of what Andy will do. Andy will select a password. Now, similarly, Andy also will select a security question. But this time I use, best friend's phone number. And for the best friend's phone number, I'm going to use 800-555-1212. And I'm going to save it. No. So Andy, the very first time, comes to the account. That is the screen they see. So it's a little tutorial for Andy as well. So click on next, click on here, again next, and this is for Andy. So Andy sees that it needs to really go through the checklist, click on install Firefox extension. It brings Andy to this screen. Click on download, continue with installation, add it, and now everything is added, and Andy can see the data. Okay. Now, if I log into Andy, go to the password manager for Andy, as you can see, there is no password for Andy. Andy can start adding his own password. But on the other browser, if I go to the password manager for Joe, I see a bunch of passwords there. So I have a couple of ways, I can share passwords with Andy. So I can go to family. I can, pick Andy, go to application, and let's say I want to share eBay with Andy. I just select it, click on the arrow, it goes up. And if I come on this side, which is Andy's account on Firefox, if I refresh, boom, I see eBay, and now Andy can really use it. Now next, what I would recommend is when you come to General tab, you can define roles. For you can be either administrator or a family member. I highly recommend at least you want to have somebody else to be a family administrator in case if there's any issues, they can log in and use the software as well. But you want to make sure you have a backup family administrator, at least one. So I'm gonna make him. In fact, before I make him a family administrator, if I come here, if I go to Smart Menu, this is the setting that I see. So I wouldn't make him, a role right now, and I will show the rest of it in a little bit. Okay. So as I showed you, Andy has got the eBay account. Now Andy can go and add app. Let's say Andy adds his own app, Twitter. Andy adds Twitter, puts Andy's email. Okay, you put a password and click on Add App. Now, since it's the first time I'm really logging into the extension, it gives me multiple ways of putting my passwords. Then, done, it is saved. So now I have, my data is saved here. I'm going to do a refresh. So I can see all the applications, whether the ones I have added or the ones that are shared with me. So let's go back to the software again. So this is how you can add different applications, and let's say this time Andy goes to a family site. Andy sees Joe, the users, but Andy cannot add users to the account. Now I go to application password, and this is the password that was shared, and with all the information that I wanted to share with the user. Now let's go back to Illustrator, Password Manager, and eBay. And so this is my eBay account that I wanted to share with this user. Now with my son. What I'm going to do next, I'm going to share in a different way. I, come in, right mouse button, and share. This time I want to share, and I will share with my son Andy. So I share it with my son Andy, and I don't want Andy to be able to see my password. So I don't check this thing. I can say when this is going to expire or otherwise. So I click on share. Now as soon as I click on share, an email will go to Andy, and also Andy will see a notification here. And if I come back here, one option is go to notification, click on check notification. I will see this that says a pending share has come. And however, if I also go to email, I will shortly receive an email also from Joe. So if I go here again, so if I click on here, it tells me, do you want to accept it? I say yes. So it is accepted. And it shows it is shared by Joe. And I close it. Now, if I go to, for example, again, edit this user, I'll see there's one share. So something is shared with this user. Now, if I click on it, it shows this is shared by Andy. It shows it's been accepted. And if I click on go to sharing center, it shows the application that was shared by Andy. And then I can click on edit. And now I can see the password. As you see, I have set view passwords. I'm allowing it to view password. But if I don't want to allow it, I click on this checkbox, click on save, I come back here. Now, if I go to Facebook, password is not visible.